And we welcome you to Minneapolis, where the city and the fans are happy to be hosting once again. We are inside the barn ready for the first game of the day here between 5-seed Ole Miss and 12-seed Gonzaga. Take a look at the bracket. Ole Miss made a run to the semifinals of the SEC tournament, and they are paired up against 12-seed Gonzaga, who just won their 11th WCC championship. Both teams with some momentum coming in here today. And hi, everybody. So glad you can be with us. I'm Krista Bluck, alongside Women's Basketball Hall of Famer and National Champ at Texas, Andrea Lloyd. And Andrea, both teams with some momentum coming in, but Ole Miss may be just putting it together at the right time after some early adversity.
Yeah, and it's a scary team when they're putting it together. High intensity, very rugged defense. This is a team maybe with a bit of a chip on their shoulder because they wanted to host. They're the number 5 seed in this tournament.
Yeah, a lot of experience for them. A very young Gonzaga team, but you'd never know it, playing behind their leader, the redshirt freshman, Lauren Whitaker.
Yeah, Whitaker, player of the year in the West Coast Conference and freshman of the year, something that happens very rarely. She's a big girl that can play on the inside, happy to be physical on the interior, but she can pass the ball, she can shoot the ball, has those kind of guard skills.
So versatile for the Zags. And then for Ole Miss, they added 8 transfers this year, and they have fit in well, especially Cody McMahon.
Yeah, and Cody McMahon back on a Big Ten floor. She played at Ohio State for 3 seasons. She has diversified her game this year at Ole Miss. Loves to get downhill. She will set the tone and the pace for this Ole Miss Rebel team.
Talk about versatility. She took over at the point guard spot this season when they needed some help running the ball up and down the floor, so she can do it all as we are ready for the tip here inside the barn. Expecting over 10,000 fans. It's up, and Ole Miss will bring it up.
And that's Cody McMahon right there taking the first shot. She's a high-volume shooter, and as you said, she will play the point guard as well as 2, 3, or 4 in the offense.
Christine Waller with the offensive rebound. Another chance for the Rebels. They are so physical and aggressive. Got to keep them off the glass. Much better job there for the Zags. Time to take a look at our Capital One starting lineups for the Zags. They have had a variety of different lineups with this young group, but they have some experience, especially Betancourt, potentially helping them run the point. The transfer from UConn right there. Driving it in, but there's that length. Another chance, but it'll go the other way.
And we mentioned Ole Miss's physicality, their athleticism, but I think it's the length that bothers teams all across the nation. Their guards stand at 6 foot across the line. Again, you look at Cody McMahon with her physical stature out there. She's tough at both ends of the floor.
Capital One starting lineup for Ole Miss. Happy to have Sira Chinu back in. She really leads things for them, especially on the defensive end. She missed 7 games out with the injury, but back and ready. Posted inside, layup. Around and won't drop for Murray. Break for the Zags, and how about Lauren Whitaker bringing it up? We talked about her versatility. And she takes it at Iwala, no whistle, and it'll stay with Gonzaga. Head coach of the Bulldogs there is Lisa Fortier in her 12th season. And what success she's had. 11 20-plus winning seasons, 10 of those in a row since taking over, just in success year after year. Last year, though, not making the tournament, made their way to the WBIT as Zags try to go high to low and a little off the mark. Goes the other direction, so the first turnover of the game. The Rebels forcing that one, and Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen often just Coach Yo, and she has expectations, especially on the defensive end,
and
to disrupt.
Yeah, and you will see her throughout the game. That is the personality of Coach Yo. She will be up on the sidelines coaching her players from the tip to the end of the game.
Swarming D on Chinu. She gets it out to McMahon as that one won't go. McMahon shooting at 28% behind the arc. She's had a couple now, but 0 for 4 for Ole Miss. Tough start as the Zags need to try to take advantage. Betancourt's shot no good. Whitaker needs some help. There's just swarming defense by the Rebels.
10 seconds on the shot clock here.
Hesitation by Alcuso. Tries to drive it up. There's the block and tip from Chinu. It's going to stay with the Zags. Just 2 on the shot clock. Not easy to get an open look with that length out there.
Anytime Gonzaga is low in the shot clock, they don't really have players that can go one-on-one and create. They need to utilize their offense and create for each other. It's a tough situation for them. Resetting the shot clock. They're going to go take a look at this, I think. Yeah.
We'll see what the officials come up with. Just under 8 minutes, first quarter here in Minneapolis. Scoreless. Coach's appeal still underway. Just under 8 minutes left here in Minneapolis. Scoreless in this first quarter as they're trying to figure out who the ball went off of, Andrea.
Yeah, just a tip on the block, and you see it hit off of both teams, actually, but it looked to me at the very end.
The on-court ruling is confirmed. Ole Miss number 4 causes the ball to go out of bounds. Therefore, it'll be Gonzaga basketball. Ole Miss is also charged with a timeout.
So the appeal for Ole Miss not going in their favor. Jayla Murray, it'll say off of her foot. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Gonzaga got to be aware. They were really questioning, I think, if Taylor Smith maybe caught it with her hand at the last second.
Yeah, it bounced off both teams several times there.
Inbound to Whitaker, high post, doesn't have a lot of time, and she realized it. Second turnover of the game for the Zags. They average 17 a game. If there's been any kind of Achilles heel for Lisa Fortier's team this year, it has been turnovers. But that is a very young team. When we talk about how many fifth-year seniors she's graduated the last couple of years, this year, 3 freshmen and 4 transfers, a lot of new.
And you look at the difference in experience and NCAA tournament experience between these two teams. Very, very different. Ole Miss, a ton of experience, and really for Gonzaga, not a lot.
First points of the game, and they go to Brisha Poe, one of 4 seniors for Ole Miss. Now in the tournament for the 5th year in a row, and a little too physical up high. They're going to call foul on Poe. Transfer from Mississippi State. 8 transfers in for Ole Miss. Coach Yo just piecing together a brand new team, and boy, have they really gelled.
And both of these teams have a lot of new pieces. It just takes time. That chemistry takes them a little bit of work and months to put in place. Great defense right there. Everybody just swarming Whitaker every time she touches the ball. That's the 3rd turnover for Gonzaga.
Iwala matched up with Whitaker and have really caused some problems. Help D also was there with Murray. Whitaker on Iwala and Help D dropping down on her. Shots from outside haven't been falling for McMahon.
Good defense by Betancourt, but better offense right there as you see the ability of McMahon to just rise over the top and score.
Shooter's got to keep on shooting. She's averaging 20 points per game. Cuso, the crossover, too much.
And here's the speed, just an errant pass right there by McMahon, but they love to get the ball up and down the floor. It's one of the reasons that Cody McMahon started playing the point guard position. Coach Yo did not like the pace they were playing with. She liked how Cody McMahon was able to put the ball in her hands, get downhill.
Yeah, started late non-conference in handling the ball more. As Ole Miss is already going to go to the bench, bring some fresh legs on. And taking a seat. Searidge, she knew. Again, missing 7 games, her first game back. Happy to have her. Gonzaga going to try to push a bit as well, not letting that D get set. Skip around. Taryn Gardner's checked in, 24 in navy blue. As well as Jaden Hale, 23 for the Zags. 5-0 start for the Rebels. There's Lattimore. She just checks into the game, ready to score. Latasha Lattimore, the grad transfer from Virginia.
Yeah, both baskets also coming from the paint, except for the jumper, the tough jumper by Cody McMahon. And that's the thing with Gonzaga. They are packing the paint right now. You have to have 3-point shooters.
Rebels hit their last 3 buckets. And the Zags 0 for 6 starting this game.
Yeah, and Latasha Lattimore played in a lot of different places. She has come into Ole Miss and really thrived under the direction of Coach Yo. Has that mid-range, that 3-point land, and the inside game at 6'4", 6'5".
Zags need a bucket. The inbound to Smith. That one off the back of the iron. Good box out by the Rebels. Jana Thompson into the game for Ole Miss. Almost throwing that one away. DeShields catches up to it. Denham DeShields, the senior transfer from Mississippi State.
Yeah, a couple of Mississippi State transfers coming in this season. 9 on the shot clock.
Screen help D coming down. They're giving up the free ball, and it pays off that time. Ole Miss averages about 5 threes a game, so not completely their bread and butter, and Gonzaga taking a chance.
So if you're going to gamble on something with Gonzaga's defense, you gamble on that.
It's paying off so far.
Mouse in the house right there.
Finally, stopping the 8-0 start. Beckett on the interior, first points for Hale.
Yeah, we talk about how much the bench is going to be important as well. You and I talked about this.
Yeah.
They are going to need some depth today, and they got that from Hale on that bucket.
Lauren Whitaker has been leading the way, 19 points a game, 10 rebounds a game on the season, but they aren't as successful when she gets to those numbers as they are when others get involved. Lattimore trying to get a little closer, but sticking with her is Hale. And a little too aggressive with the defense there. Foul going to go against the Rebels.
High-low is part of Gonzaga's game. They love to get it into the bigs on the inside. This time, Mouse in the house. Right there with Denham DeShields against Hale, who's 6'2". Great look on the interior for Gonzaga.
Stop the 8-0 start for Ole Miss. 4:35 remaining first quarter. 6-point lead for the Rebels. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? First round is presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. Some celebration on Selection Show Sunday. These teams making their way here to Minneapolis for this first round. And you see Coach Yo, 20-plus winning seasons. Since then, 5 more in the tournament as well. She's had a variety of different looks and types of teams also, and she's been so defensive-minded the majority of the way. This year, she's got some more shooters on this team, and so she's had to give in a little bit on the defensive end.
Oh,
Not
I don't
much.
think she's given us any bet on the defensive end. She is equally demanding as ever. The difference is she complements that with an offensive-minded team.
Yep, certainly has 8 transfers in. Ranked the second best recruit class transfers in the nation.
Look at this denial defense. This is what Gonzaga does, and if Coach Show doesn't see denial in the passing lane, she brings someone in that will do that.
They bring Whitaker back in off the bench. She's off the mark. Both teams have gone to their benches fairly early. It's a fast pace. Chinu on the drive. Nobody completely stopped her. Cleans it up herself.
Yeah, and that's the speed of Chinu down the floor. She at 6'1", has the ability to handle the ball, the ability to go to the rim. Looked a little rusty there on that play. Hasn't seen the floor in 7 games.
And too aggressive offensive foul. That's going to go against Whitaker, her first. Don't want to see her get into foul trouble if you're Gonzaga.
And especially in a situation that far from the basket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things that as a big, when you're setting screens for your guards, the guards need to do a great job of waiting till your big is set, and the big needs to do a nice job of really staying stuck in that position. They cannot afford Whitaker to be on the bench with fouls.
Yeah, the attention to detail. And then they try to go right at her with the Iwala. There was a little contact. They're letting them play, though, and I like it.
Well, and this Whitaker matchup is just one of the better ones we'll see today on the inside.
Fun to watch. Iwala, the senior, really a glue player for this team. Oh, losing the D to the ground to pick the roll to finish. Finally, Whitaker, first points of the game after starting 0 for 2.
That time, no foul called on the screen by Whitaker. Terrific screen right there. May I say Janelle McCarville-esque since we're here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good comparison. Janelle McCarville, Lindsay Whalen. We're hoping to maybe see Lindsay Whalen in the house a little later. Minnesota in our second game, hosting this one for the first time since 2005, back when McCarville was a senior. Shot clock down to 5. They skip it around. DeShields, Concord collected.
And DeShields coming off a terrific game against Texas in that loss in the SEC tournament. Really showed a lot of poise out there, scored the basketball for Ole Miss.
They're just reading the game. The drive knocked away. It's going to stay with Ole Miss. Finally getting Whitaker involved, though, the Zags.
Yeah, look at this screen. A little dribble handoff and a screen, and then the roll is wide open. Iwala had to come out and help on the shooter right there, and that's just the mobility, really, and one of the things that Whitaker can do. She'll take a seat on the bench. She plays, you know, a few minutes at a time, plays spurts for Gonzaga. She doesn't play full 40 minutes. That's why the bench is so important for this team.
They have gone to it again. McKinley Dalen's checked in 22, as well as Julia Wilson. That's a player that Coach O for Ole Miss said, we want to try to wear her down if we can. They have really tried to push pace.
And Coach O has also talked about the respect she has. Watching film of Whitaker's, can just see the talent that is there in this freshman.
No doubt. She's broken so many freshman records this year. There's the shot clock now down to 5. Kuso, hesitation, shot clock. How about that? And they don't get the shot clock violation. It'll go to Ole Miss.
Yeah, terrific one-on-one defense. And then how about the help defense, the rotation, the ability to get out to the shooter. 5 turnovers now for Gonzaga. I mean, they've done some good things. They have some offensive rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. I think they've kept the pace a little bit slow. That's to their favor. The zone kind of clogging things up in the middle.
High, low, Iwala in the right place with the finish, and now some full court pressure. First points of the game for Christina Iwala.
Here's where you'll see Gonzaga utilize their front court to bring the ball up the floor against pressure.
5 turnovers for Gonzaga. They've given up 7 points off of them. And there's a give go. How about help D for McMahon? She blocks it, she takes it, and she gets fouled and will go to the line. Boy, impressive play.
That's right there is Ole Miss defense. So you're pressuring, you're helping, and then you're helping the helper. And here's Cody McMahon coming across the lane, getting the block. And here's the beauty of Cody McMahon. She can play 1 through 4. So she rebounds the ball, she gets a block, gets down the floor. We have seen her throughout this year just thrive in the Ole Miss system. And again, we mentioned at Ohio State, played particularly in the front court as a 4, primarily a power forward, the 3 and the 4. Really expanded her game this year.
You see her first Division I offer in the 7th grade. That always jumps out at me. It's really something to think.
And that's a 7-0 run right now for Ole Miss. That free throw.
Adding 2 points off the turnovers as well.
Iwala out here on the perimeter. She will switch onto the guard if necessary as well. So mobile as a big girl on the inside, number 12 in white.
Turner's been quiet. She's had a long defender out on her. Allie Turner, the sophomore, but finally that's a great sign. Her first 3 goes in. She's 3rd in the nation in 3-point shooting.
And had to create for herself on that possession.
Much needed. Under a minute left, first quarter. And the 3 just short. And it's posting, my bad. She hit one earlier.
Yeah, Allie Turner, terrific shooter. She's accustomed to being able to catch the ball off a great pass, sees the defense a step off of her, and she has just got an automatic shot, a beautiful shot as we see a turnover.
And off the inbound, it was Peterson with the takeaway, and a break, but she wasn't able to make it as Betancourt's going to bring it up. The free throw line, good, taking advantage. Are the Zags finally off of a turnover?
Yeah, Betancourt is confident out there from the beginning. As a transfer from UConn 2 seasons ago, she has got some experience in postseason play.
Whistle and a foul. Be on Hale. And
hey, if you can push pace against Ole Miss and not have to play against their set defense, that is what you do. And this is something that Lisa Fortier said yesterday. If we get a good look in transition with a 3 or just a floater at the basket, take it. We're not going to get a lot of easy ones.
Yeah, quality team shots. She wants her team to work it around as McMahon loses 1 defender and follows her shot. About a second differential shot clock, game clock, first quarter winding down, and a foul in the interior. We'll put him to the line. So she just doesn't give up.
Well, and it's really hard to explain how she plays other than to say she's a freight train out there. She is a freight train. Cody McMahon has the skills to be able to take the ball to the rim, get by multiple defenders. She slides through defenders. And not only that, she doesn't give up on plays.
Yeah, you saw it right there. The senior out of Dayton, Ohio, 2-time AP All-American honorable mention member, and she was the SEC newcomer of the year this year, part of the first team All-SEC as well. First free throw good. She's had 19 20-plus point games. And she's averaging a career high, an impressive number. She's really been a good fit for Coach O's system.
You mentioned the 8 transfers that came in to Ole Miss this year. All of them have important things that they bring to the table, but none more than Cody McMahon. And what a terrific pickup in the offseason in the transfer portal.
Hounding full court defense, almost another takeaway. Gonzaga's going to have some help. They'll look to some of their wings and forwards to come down. McMahon going to get a breather. And there's the takeaway on the inbound. Second turnover by the Zags. It was Thompson with the hands, the clock down to 5, and again, going to the free throw line. Not settling for the outside shots here late in this quarter and getting to the stripe.
What is the last thing Coach Yo said to us during practice yesterday as she walked away? She said, we are going to get to the free throw line. This is something that Ole Miss does all the time because of their assertiveness at the offensive end and aggressiveness with the basketball. They get to the stripe.
Wanting to use their size, wanting to be physical, as the first one is good for Lauren Jacobs, freshman out of Columbia, South Carolina. Her 22nd game on the season. 1 for 2, and a chance for Gonzaga to cut into the deficit with just a couple seconds left, and a foul call stopping the break.
Again, that foul's on Thompson out there, just too far away from the basket with the shot, with the clock running down.
Last chance, possibly Betancourt. And beyond half court and just short. And a big punch from Ole Miss to start this first quarter at 20-9 heading into the second. We'll take the timeout. Quarter number 2 from Minneapolis when we return. In the books, welcome back inside the barn here in Minneapolis. 20-9 lead for the 5-seed Ole Miss. And now it's time for today's Slam Dunk matchups brought to you by Wendy's. We talked about these two in the open, Andrea, and it's been a little bit better outing so far for Cody McMahon.
It's been tough for Whitaker on the interior. She has been swarmed every time she touches the basketball. In foul trouble now with that second foul that she picked up.
17 double-doubles in the season, most by a Gonzaga player since Courtney Vandersloot. He was pretty darn good. But how about being named not only the freshman of the year in the WCC, but the player of the year? That is something that does not happen very often.
Yeah, around the country, it doesn't happen often. We can probably name 4 or 5 of them in the last 10 years where that has happened, and it's pretty special, rare air.
It certainly is. We'll see if they can find some offense for Zags from some others. Sierra Lipty's checked into the game. 4 in navy blue up high.
And the problem is everything's off the bounce right now, and that's the length of Ole Miss that will get to you.
Hey, a cleanup will work, though. Jaden Hale, the freshman, with the cleanup inside. Well, you're right. The length getting a lot of touches. Lipty trying to force Iwala with a miss. Instead, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Rebels.
Yeah, here's the notable players. Some of them we've talked about. Paige Beckers from UConn in 21 was Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year in the Big East. Madison Booker from Texas in the Big 12 when Texas was in the Big 12. Gal Revive from Quinnipiac last year. She transferred to Miami after that. And then Lauren Whitaker. This is not a comprehensive list. Yep. Just some of the ones that we've talked about since we've been here that are more notable.
Yeah, that's pretty good company to be part of.
Gosh.
I'll tell you, it says a lot about what she did and the respect that she has. Very competitive year this year for the WCC.
I just think it's hard for a player as a freshman to have the consistency to be Player of the Year. That's so tough in Division I basketball, and especially as a high mid-major for like Gonzaga.
Looking on that, shot well off the mark for Chinu.
Okay, here's the problem with Gonzaga. They have 2 assists right now on their baskets. They are a team that assists. They're 26th in the nation in assists with 17 per game. But what Ole Miss's defense does is they make you put the ball in the deck because there's no easy passes. They're using a lot of dribble handoffs, pass, and go-gets. And this is the kind of looks they're getting late in the shot clock, which aren't the best.
Very late, down to 2. That one for Betancourt off the mark. You're right. They're being forced to utilize the entire shot clock most of the time down. As Chinu splits the knee, lays it up good.
Yeah, Chinu with that knee brace on her left knee, has a bone bruise, but toughing it out here. Looks pretty good in the open floor.
Beating the D just in time. Ines Betancourt, the transfer from UConn with the bucket. Her first three, just the second three and attempt by Gonzaga. They average 7 threes a game. Big part of their offense.
And getting it early. That's where a couple of baskets have come.
Poe, that's another one for her out there.
Tell you what, Sister Poe, she can shoot the ball. You need to get a hand in her face.
She's so relaxed, the senior out of Meridian, Mississippi. And they are perfect. 4 for 4.
Look how far out on the floor Gonzaga is right now, and they have not even really made a pass yet. Dribble, dribble, dribble.
Looking around, and then length for the D. Hand in the passing lane, and Chinu's going to bring it up.
That's 8 turnovers for Gonzaga, and we mentioned how turnovers have been their Achilles heel this year.
McMahon pulls up, it rattles around, won't go. Now Kuso with the board, and she'll bring it up. Trying to find some offense. And the 1v1, boy, another hustle play by Hale. How about an and one? Cleaning it up on the weak side, and much needed hustle play right there.
Yeah, when Whitaker goes to the bench, most of the time it's Hale that comes in, 6th player of the year in the West Coast Conference, and look at her battle on the interior right here, and just stick with it, using her physicality to go up against the defender. She's come in, is that 6 points for her?
Yep.
She has come in, scored 6 points. That's the kind of bench production you want to see from Lisa Fortier's team.
And she's perfect 3 for 3, 4 rebounds also since she's come in.
She is one of those players that is not afraid. She is willing to sacrifice her body. Fargo, North Dakota kid, played for North Tartan here in AAU, so knows Minnesota.
Gets the 3-point play. Boy, they started 0 for 7 shooting, and since then the Zags are 7 for 13. Finally settling into some offense, and they've been able to do it with some foul trouble to their leading scorer on the season, Lauren Whitaker. McMahon steps it over. Oh, that one rattled around, and that one did everything but drop for her. She's frustrated.
I think she's just in disbelief that that didn't go down. I love the smile of Cody McMahon. Plays hard. Fun to watch. Is she the most gifted, physically gifted player in the NCAA today?
Just incredible. She is just incredibly, incredibly talented. So strong, athletic. Does everything on the court.
Good job by Julia Wilson, a freshman, bringing it up against the pressure for Gonzaga, number 3 in blue. Gonzaga can, as you mentioned, settle down a bit here. They're having to get their points as right there. Look at that with a little English. Allie Turner, did you see that English?
I did. It's what you got to do, and she read it perfectly. She's a big 3-point shooter, but she's not afraid to take it in, and she has good length.
When we talk about youth, she's just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore. She was last year's WCC Freshman of the Year. 6 minutes left, first half. Oh, how about that? Right place, right time, and the finish from Lattimore. She'll go to the line.
Ole Miss has so much depth. It is just so difficult to know who to guard, how to guard them, who to box out, and they're rotating players in all the time. Lattimore at 6'4" comes in, hits the offensive boards here, and that's just an easy finish for Lattimore. And guess where Ole Miss is again?
Lattimore with 5 points, going back to the free throw line. That's what they want to do.
So Ole Miss 12th in the nation at getting to the free throw line. So 22.2 free throws per game they average.
Big chunk of their offense coming from the stripe, and she just misses the 3-point opportunity.
And Whitaker back in with those 2 fouls.
Chinu guarding Turner. Turner asking for a high screen. Whitaker stay out there with the 2 personals. Length of Kyle's who's checked in.
It's just great patience, really, from the mid-post to the low block, but just couldn't finish.
Nobody's stopping the ball. The Shields trying to take advantage. Knocked out a play. It stays with the Rebels.
Watch the hands that Whitaker hands right here. She catches, oh, this is the other look right here as the ball goes inside with DeShields. Diamond Shoes DeShields, another player not afraid to go in the paint at just 5'5".
Chinu will take a seat. McMahon trying to lose the D of Wilson. 5.5 left, first half. Miss had a 13-point lead a little earlier as Gonzaga were finally able to cut into it. The miss, but the offensive rebound. Another chance. Lattimore, how about another and one opportunity?
Natasha Lattimore again hitting the offensive boards, and again weapons out there. You look at Peterson for Ole Miss as a shooter. You look at everybody that's out there. Kyles has come in off the bench to be a big bruiser on the interior, and now Lattimore hitting that N1 shot here.
Foul goes against Wilson, her second, so she takes a seat, and Alcuso will come back in. You were talking about the free throw numbers, big part of what they do.
And that's just a byproduct of being aggressive, and I think a lot of depth as well.
Oh.
So with Ole Miss, they can bring people off the bench, and the depth only got better when Chinu was out for a while, and Thompson and Murray were able to get some extra playing time.
Big plus for them, 6 of 8 shooting. Turner thought it got touched.
It was touched.
Yep. Will they appeal? Nope. Take a look. They'll say nope, out of bounds. It's going to go to Ole Miss with 5:02 left this first half. Gonzaga's only gone to the line once so far. But they have attacked at times. They haven't just been settling for outside shots.
Well,
the
they've had
defense
to.
has just been incredible.
Yeah, they have had to.
A beautiful little baby hook there by Kyles.
Des Kyles, a couple of inside plays right there. This time she scores. Just really love the fact that this redshirt sophomore comes in and provides a little more muscle.
7-0 run for Ole Miss as they try to knock it off of Whitaker, but it looks like it's going to stay with the Zags.
Ole Miss hitting the offensive boards on the interior. They got their inside game going if they aren't hitting it from the perimeter. And how about Kyles with this finish? The Ole Miss Rebels have packed their high-intensity, rugged defense in their bags when they came to Minnesota here for this weekend, and we see a lot of great things from them. They got 4 steals, 5 blocks, a little bit of everything. It's the size, it's the speed, it's the physicality that Coach Yo demands from her players, and it has made a huge impact on this first half. Ole Miss holding Gonzaga to just 28% shooting in that first quarter.
Fans
Turnovers forced.
Fans understand the dictate and disrupt.
Oh, yes.
We
have our own.
They got the towels up.
We got our towels, too.
Yep. They want us to get into the action here.
Yeah, just in case.
We try not to play favorites, but we'll see if the Zags can handle it for this last 4.5 this first half.
And again, Whitaker playing out there, the freshman phenom playing out there with 2 fouls. So Lisa Fortier taking a risk on that freshman, understanding how important it is that she's on the floor.
Trying to work on the interior, foul away from the ball, and it's going to go against Desiree Kyles. It's her first, team second, but it is important to have her out there. Zags on a bit of a drought, a little over 2 minutes without a score. And on the inbound, Chinu and the length and the athleticism gets the steal and will bring it up.
That is something that Ole Miss has missed in the last few weeks, is with Chinu's ability defensively, her ability to get out and get steals, deflections, blocks like that.
Out the last 7 games, the team went 2-5. It was a tough stretch also. The competition is really in high gear in the SEC, as they'll say on the inline.
And
Coach Lattimore.
Yeah, Coach Yo trying to go to Lattimore in a one-on-one situation against Whitaker, who has those 2 fouls, and great job by Whitaker of just walling up, not getting herself into trouble.
Iwala back in for Ole Miss. Just the second turnover, though, for the Rebels. Really taking care of the ball.
Well, and the first turnover was just an errant pass in the first quarter, if you remember, so
way back.
Quite a while ago.
Post shot from Whitaker, no good. Offensive rebound, maybe another chance. Gardner finds Turner. Allie Turner trying to get help. There's the perfect defensive rotation, though. It's Caitlin Peterson who set it up.
And Caitlin Peterson, another great transfer that has come in. She led the Big 12 in scoring and decided to come to Ole Miss this season and has really bought into the system. What can she do to make her team better? That was one of the things she does.
Lattimore's three, no good, long rebound, and Gonzaga will bring it. Yeah, Peterson, the transfer from UCF, you're a leading scorer, and now you've got to change your role. That's not always easy to do, but she's settled in. High post, Hale will give it up to Whitaker. Ball fake, lefty drive, but the Iguala presence, I think, just forcing that one. Zags is 5 in a row, and it leads to a layup there for Ole Miss.
Yeah, and these turnovers, 9 turnovers already. These consecutive misses. Ole Miss will bury you in those situations.
She will. Jacobs with the bucket. She has 3 points, largest lead of the game by 15. And that'll be cut into. That stops the 9-0 run. And boy, did the Zags need that.
Yeah, again, Allie Turner having to create for herself, just coming off a screen, saw a little bit of room.
8 points for Turner. She leads everybody for Gonzaga. Lattimore on the other side with 8 points. 2 minutes left, first half.
And without Cody McMahon out there, what do they do late shot clock?
Lattimore, no good. White jerseys everywhere on the offensive glass.
It looks like Ole Miss is playing with 6 players out there.
It sure does.
All over the place.
Cleaning it up once again. Another chance, and it's one too many. Ole Miss extends the lead back out.
And that's where you see Chunu's value, right? She
Yes.
went in the floor defensively. She's improved her offensive skills this year as a sophomore.
I just think she's infectious with the energy that she gives out there, and she'll pick that one up and bring it up.
Well, I love that Coach Yo allows anybody to handle this year. As long as you're taking care of the ball, get the ball down the floor.
Such an experienced group, too, a confident team coming in. Screen for Turner, but Iguala there waiting. Hale double team. And they'll say a foul. Got her with the body. Smothering defense, though, just not giving easy looks.
It was a great pass on the interior right there. Great look away. And
coming up at halftime, Degree in the studio. Got some first half reactions, and top seed Texas in action as well.
maybe hoping to see those phone cases that Iguala made for the crew.
That's right. Christine Iguala is not only creative on the floor, but she likes to bedazzle the phone cases, and she hooked up the game day crew.
Yeah. She mentioned to us. She mentioned to us, Iguala did yesterday in practice. She's like, "Am I going to see the game day crew with my phone cases, still using them?"
I would be afraid to use it on a daily basis. I think I'd have to frame it and put it on the wall.
No. Don't let the game day crew off like that.
We shall see. We shall see. Free throws good. Gonzaga trying to chip into this deficit some more with a minute left.
Great box out on the inside. Really impressed with how Hale competes.
Well, she's been a nice spark coming in and getting it done at both ends. Back and forth, hounded by the D.
Lixie in the game. She did not play in conference tournament because of concussion protocol.
I'm glad to have her back. The transfer from Cal Poly. He'll need some help. Turner.
Deny. Pressure.
Shot clock to 3. And Turner knows she had Iguala right there into her hands. Leads to the fast break. Chinu short to Shields. Another chance. McMahon. This time it goes.
Yeah, McMahon sat on the bench, got her breath back, and she's come in and made a terrific pass up the floor. And she's like, hey, if you're not going to make the layup, I'll just take a 3.
The first made 3 out there. She was 0 for 4 prior to that make. 9 points for McMahon, and the clock down to just 3. First half winding down, and that will do it. Ole Miss with the 16-point lead here at halftime. Going to sit it down here at the break. To the studio, we got Christine, Drea, and Shanae.
NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. You are watching the first round, presented by Intuit TurboTax.
Welcome back to Minneapolis. 5-seed Ole Miss takes their largest lead of the game in at halftime. Getting ready for the third quarter. Chris Blank alongside Andrea Lloyd. And wow, Andrea, the defense created a lot of opportunities for Ole Miss that first half.
Yeah, and Gonzaga defensively as well. They tried to pack it in early on. And I thought that Ole Miss did a nice job of knocking down threes early on. They were 5 for 13 from three-point land and really needed those early baskets to open things up for their team. And then guess what? It was all about really the defense, but I really loved the way that Ole Miss got to work on the interior offensively and hit the boards. They had 9 offensive rebounds. They battled in the paint. Their bench came in and was productive. And then guess what? Cody McMahon, tell you what, she is all that we've talked about. Her ability to hit the outside shot, get to the rim, be a leader for this team.
She sure is. That is our Need to Know, brought to you by Invesco. QQQ. See if Gonzaga can make some adjustments, but a lot of positives. We showed it outside, inside, the defense. A lot of things clicking for the Rebels.
Gonzaga needs to figure out a way to score the basketball. And we mentioned earlier they had not very many assists, 3 assists in the first half for a team that averages 17. They need to find ways, set better screens, make sharper cuts so that they can get open, share the basketball, and get good looks.
Pretty good look there from Whitaker on the outside, but it won't fall. You're right, the assist numbers are crucial for them. Sharing the ball, working it around. As that one was just short for McMahon. Walla, perfect trail, cleans it up.
Yeah, and Walla has not been the player today that just catches in the post and scores a bunch of points. She's been active, though, on the interior. You see her presence. She has been a big key to Ole Miss's success this season. Changed her body type, went to work this offseason.
Completely working on her game as Turner gets another 3, her 3rd of the game. The Zags could use more of that. You're right, Iguala just made it known in the summer. I'm going to work on my conditioning. I'm going to change and do whatever this team needs. You got a lot of new players coming in, and she wasn't really a starter last year. She had a few off the bench. She's been a starter the entire way here. Gives it up to McMahon, and she'll get it back. Shot clock to 5. Oh, was it a pass? It doesn't matter. It
does not matter. Absolutely.
Chinu right there.
Look at Chinu again, offensively and defensively. 4 blocks in the first half for Sarah Chinu, and then that ability to score on the interior with that 6'1", slender frame, but very active.
Boy, they missed her so much in those last 7 games. Coach O talked about her maybe putting a little too much pressure on herself. She wanted her to just settle down and come in. I don't think she looks like she feels too pressured. As Whitaker says, no foul, jump ball.
Like the intensity right there. Yeah. A good job. You see this switch off here, a little bit a guard on to Whitaker, and just quick hands right there by Ole Miss, getting down on the floor. And this is the difference in experience, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
Ole Miss has got an edge that Gonzaga doesn't because of their youth.
That's a great point. I think this is just a veteran Rebels team, 8 transfers in, 4 seniors, 3 grad transfers, with just 1 freshman. And it's almost the complete opposite on the other side for Gonzaga. They have had a lot of growth, and there's now the largest lead again with an and 1.
And how did it come? Off of another offensive rebound. That is 11 offensive rebounds. This Ole Miss offense doing a nice job of sticking with it. It's just so hard to box out that many players when they're hitting the offensive boards.
They have been all over the offensive glass, and they've gotten a lot of production out of it. But not getting the 3-point play is Murray. Whitaker will bring it up. 20 points off of 12 offensive rebounds for Ole Miss. As Whitaker gets tied up, and a foul going to go against Murray.
You see how far away from the basket Whitaker is. And we talked about her ability to play both a guard position and the interior. She is very dangerous against a team like Ole Miss. It's tough, though, with their speed and athleticism.
And the help D and the length that comes over to be right there waiting on you. Badencourt. Flicks it up, just misses. And they'll say it stays with the Zags.
Well, I mentioned offensive rebounding for Ole Miss, but the Zags have done a nice job as well. They have 10 offensive rebounds on the game. They just haven't been able to connect on second chance opportunities.
Whitaker finds an opening, puts a little too much on the shot, and McMahon takes it away. Whitaker's slow to get up, so is one of the Ole Miss players, and I think it might be Murray. She's staying down. Meanwhile, play continues at the other end. McMahon with the layup. And yeah, it's Jayla Murray staying on the floor.
Well, as usual, Gonzaga gets the ball inside to Whitaker, and she gets swarmed defensively, and that is a big girl inside. She's playing very physical, so you see her go up, miss the shot right here, comes down, tries to go up again. This is a basketball play right there. She didn't even know the person was behind her, really, just looking to go up strong.
Almost like her shoulder, and she was going up for the shot. Yeah, tough. Wrong place, wrong time for Murray on that one. Hopefully she'll make her way back in. Foul up high. There's Denham to Shields.
What did Lisa Fortier call her press breaker? The Larry Bird.
Yes.
Something, you know, basically let's use our bigs to bring the ball up the floor today against this pressure defense with Ole Miss. And she has done that with Whitaker, with Akuso, Smith.
Gotta have help bringing it up against the length and aggressive defense by Ole Miss. 7 minutes left, third quarter.
Whitaker and Hale on the floor together, two bigs for Gonzaga.
Whitaker had position momentarily, and the help D coming over will send her to the line.
Lauren Whitaker, New Zealand native. Her sister Charlotte played for Colorado for a short bit. Actually learned about Gonzaga because her sister Charlotte was recruited by Gonzaga.
Yes.
And she's younger, and she went to Gonzaga when she was 12 with her sister on the recruiting trip.
She'd love that. And this is the free throw. And for the 6th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Everything getting started. First 4 round in the books. First and second rounds kicking off today. And then all the way, and the hopefuls to make their way to Phoenix this year for the Final Four.
Yeah, a little bit of zone here from Gonzaga. We saw that in the first half.
Whitaker is an 80% free thrower. She missed both free throws, and it leads to a bucket there, a 9-0 run for Ole Miss.
Denham to Shields again, coming in as that backup point guard or just guard out there on the floor, able to knock down a three.
And so with the fake, got an open lane, shot off the mark, though it stays with Gonzaga. Ole Miss makes teams do things they don't necessarily want to do. We're seeing some of that here today. They really force you to speed things up. They definitely dictate and they disrupt. It's the motto that they live by. Turner squares it up, rattles it down. How about 4 threes for Allie Turner?
And that is what Allie Turner is needed for out on the floor. Good job of executing on it out of bounds.
Her 88th of the season as she swats that one away. It'll stay with Ole Miss. She had a single season record last year in her freshman year with 105 made threes. Just a sophomore.
Had an elite freshman season for Gonzaga last season.
Certainly did. Iwala in, McMahon will
You don't happen into being the 3rd best three-point shooter in the nation. This is a young lady that, you know, when listening to her, puts in 300 makes a day and on average.
Makes, not takes.
Not takes, makes. Has a basketball court at home outside.
Well, it's incredible work ethic and discipline. And just a sophomore. Iwala muscles her way up. Layup is good.
Coach O wanted a faking the foul called right there, but Iwala just with that strength inside You see her mobility. She has a different mindset as well this year.
Hale was trying to draw the charge. Chinu causing some problems, but finally Zags bring it across.
Just 15 seconds now to run their offense against this defense.
Ball fake one way, drive the other, but Lattimore caught up to it from behind the block. Another one for Ole Miss. That's number 6. 7 rather.
Latasha Lattimore does a terrific job of not cutting down the distance too much so she gets a foul. She keeps a little distance and uses that, 6'10" wingspan that she has to block shots.
They lost her for a second, did Lichty on the drive, but with a makeup by Lattimore from behind. Iwala has to change trajectory and gets the layup to go.
Love it. Love a big post player that wants the ball and wants to finish. She has great footwork on the interior.
She has 8 points. Balanced scoring, and now defense up high. The Shields leads to the break. Chinu lays it up. D to offense, and Lisa Fortier needs a timeout. (15-3) run for the Rebels. Fans loving the effort. Defense to offense. Up 56-29. Welcome back to Williams Arena. Iwala on the inside has been very tough to stop today, Andrea.
She has, and she has put the work in the offseason. Played year 1 at UCLA, transferred in last season for Ole Miss, and this is our picture on the left from last year. This is the picture on the right, and look at the difference in those guns right there. She is more fit, stronger, and guess what? That helps with your confidence, and you see that on the floor and how she moves and her numbers that have doubled this year. But I also see it in her leadership role. She was the voice during the skid, during that really rough January, February stretch for Ole Miss. And she was the voice of reason that really came out and encouraged her teammates. And it's been fun to watch her develop and emerge as one of the leaders for Ole Miss.
Yeah, it really has. A player that played every game last year, only had 6 starts. But you're right, she's always been kind of a quiet presence. She has become a much more vocal leader now. And she's getting it done, both showing them what to do and helping when you have that many new players coming in, as you see another bucket for Turner. But a lot of new players, she knew the system, so she stepped up. And wow, who's been on up top? Lattimore with the bucket.
Well, that's another player when you look at players that have really transformed their game. It's not like Latasha Lattimore hasn't had the talent. We have seen that at Texas, at Miami, at Virginia, at all of her stops. This year is her last go-around, and I think she feels a different urgency this season.
Yep, she knows this could be it. Hoping to play professionally, obviously, but she has put some time in as well. Shot clock down to 5, and Turner trying to lose the D, and finally the whistle will go her way. We'll take the timeout. 3:48 remaining, third quarter. Ole Miss in control. .348 remaining, third quarter. And for Gonzaga, Allie Turner has been a bright spot for them.
She's such a terrific three-point shooter, and she has obviously put a lot of work into her game. In fact, listening to an interview, she talked about the taco, the shooting taco at Gonzaga, that in the offseason the players shoot during the week, and whoever makes the most shots during the week wins the taco. She says it's a little internal motivation for our team. I hate it when I see it in somebody else's locker. I'm like, I need that taco back.
I feel that way about tacos as well, Andrea. I'm just saying, it's just for different reasons.
Well, I lived in Austin for a long time, so the taco's a big deal down there. But I love the taco. I think they have something also in arena where they give tacos away for a certain number of three-pointers that Gonzaga makes in a game. Love the competitiveness, though, of Allie Turner, and we've seen that out here.
She's been huge, 16 points, and connecting on the outside, 4 of 7. There's another one for Chinu.
And 15 offensive rebounds, making a living in the lane with those offensive rebounds. Ole Miss has.
She's in double figures with 12. But Gonzaga's a team that they need multiple players scoring. We were talking about the assist numbers are down, and that's so crucial to make the extra pass, get others involved. It can't just be Lauren Whitaker or Allie Turner as she loses it there. Whitaker with just 2 points. She's averaging 19 a game on the season, and she's only been held to single digits twice this year as, wow, high to low and just moving without the ball inside Lattimore.
That's just a frustration thing. I think that Whitaker was actually needing to get down the floor, wasn't paying attention, and here Gonzaga again with a quick turnover. You can see a little bit that the turnovers and the struggles against this defense, this dictate and disrupt and dictate defense are wearing them down. It's a 22-5 run right now.
Coach Joe's team, Peterson just turned it over, though. She was out of bounds, came back in, and so, wow, look at that.
16 forced turnovers, 19 points off forced turnovers. But this is what Ole Miss does. They're here to take care of business. I'm going to tell you what, if there is a motivated team in this tournament, Ole Miss is certainly that. Battle-tested, motivated, feel like they have a good shot at moving on to the Sweet 16, and this is their first test right here.
Sure is. Foul on Whitaker, and a chance for a three-point play. See a little boost here as this third quarter is winding down.
Whitaker continues to battle. It's not pretty in there. This is not a pretty shot that she normally takes. We normally see her with her game ability to shoot outside, put the ball on the deck, double team. She's dishing to other players. Today she is having to grit it out.
Again, 80% free thrower, and now 0 for 3 from the stripe. Just hasn't been going her way. McMahon jumps up, good, just flashes up to the high post, and then calm and cool sticks it. Double figures for her now for the 33rd time this season. She was tied with the great Peggy Gillum.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, because that record has been standing since 1980. Peggy Gillum's record of 32 double-double games in one season. And Peggy's hiding back there in the corner. She's actually not hiding. She's right in front of the bench, or the band next to the bench there, has a pom-pom.
Still the all-time leader in scoring and rebounding for Ole Miss. And she's their FCA rep. I love seeing her around. We got a chance to chat with her a little bit yesterday.
I'll tell you what, if you want to compare today's players with some of the players from back in the day, I'll take Peggy Gillum on my team anytime.
So incredible. And her sister, Jennifer, both part of the Ole Miss family. And incredible players.
She needs to peek her head out. Look at that. So you look at the points, you look at the rebounds. She says they didn't keep track of assists back then. I don't buy it, but I'm guessing it might not have been in double figures.
Maybe not. Maybe not. It's hard to get that many points.
I don't think she would argue either.
No.
You know, the other thing they didn't track back, in the early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s is offensive rebounds.
Right.
It was just overall rebounds.
Little finger roll there for Taylor Smith. Getting into the action, her first points of the game. Smith, the junior, out of Pocatello, Idaho. And we're under a minute left, third quarter. Winner moving on to the second round on Sunday. There's the steal, but second quarter bring it across. Kuso trying to go high-low to Smith. McMahon thought it was off of her.
Yeah, that's just such a tough pass right there from this angle. It's a long pass when you know that you have quick help side defense. You see Cody McMahon with their post defense. She's like, I can play some post defense.
There's nothing that she can't do from what I've seen. Whitaker and partially tipped out of bounds.
Just so many shots contested today for Gonzaga. It has been a tough road to get their shots off. 14 for 45. Even look at the number of shots. They've taken 45. Ole Miss has taken 60 today.
Big difference. Whitaker on the weak side, and the air ball leads to a make for her.
Good job of sticking with things for Whitaker right now. This has not been a game that has gone her way or has been easy.
Got that right. She has 6 points with 18 seconds left, third quarter. Shields will use some clock.
Coach Joe still up, encouraging her team over there on the sideline. Love her energy.
drive to Shields. Right side and one. Strength and power of DeShields at 5'5".
She has been in a couple of late clock situations for Ole Miss and has made the right decision. You look at her ability to shoot the three, puts it on the deck here, takes out a couple of photographers. I think I saw our cameraman down there ducking from her as well.
Hope everybody's okay.
When we talk about Ole Miss being physical, they're also rugged. It's not just that they're strong. I mean, they are willing to put their bodies on the line in a game. And they are coming off more than a week of rest.
Yes, they were ready to play. This third quarter winding down, and that will do it. Ole Miss with the 68-37 lead. Their fans feeling good about this one. One more quarter to go. Back in Minneapolis.
What is in your wallet, by the way?
So much. So many things I don't need. Here's Andrea Lloyd with you. One more quarter to go. And wow, just an incredible third quarter. 29 points put up by Ole Miss in that quarter.
They just keep coming in waves. You look at how many players, 6 players scored in that third quarter. 3 of them having 6 points.
Steals, the blocks, the defense.
Just, we talked about 3 turnovers on the game.
Yes. Forcing 16 on Gonzaga. So Gonzaga's can find some offense. It has not been easy to come by.
That defense by Thompson.
And again, active hands in the passing lane. Players diving to the floor. That was Jador Young who's checked in, a sophomore, helping that one.
I'll tell you what, that is disruptive defense right there. And you look and you know that Thompson has been given a mandate. You need to get on Allie Turner. She closes out on her quickly. Finds her, creates the turnover.
I saw them practicing yesterday with this same effort, ready to come into this one, and have they made a punch? The coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. And for tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. So a little bit of the men's play last night as well. Both free throws good for DeShields. Pressure just never lets up from the Rebels.
It's part of their DNA. I swear if you did a DNA test on Coach Yo, you'd find something related to intense pressure defense in her ancestry.
I think so.
And her team has bought into it. I mean, she does not relent. She teaches pressure defense, and you see it. 6 on the shot clock.
Able to muscle it up. What a bright spot Jaden Hale, the freshman's been.
Yeah, and all inside points in the first half were because of Hale. Got on the offensive boards, has produced on the interior, and getting a touch right there.
She has 10 points.
Charge.
Yeah, and then taking the charge. You're going to get Young for that one.
She has just got such a feel for the game and a nose for the basketball, and she works out there. She is tough, willing to sacrifice her body, great position.
You know it's coming. 6th Woman of the Year in the WCC. A player that Coach Lisa Fortier says she has been physically ready from the get-go. You don't, first-year players a lot of times at this level, it takes some time to muscle up. She has been ready to go and for the spin and turn and hit that one. Looking for Smith. She's got 4 points, 8.5 left. Winner moving on to the second round. And they will await the winner of our next one. Should be a good one. Minnesota, the host team. They're going to get McMahon with the travel, taking on Green Bay. 2 teams with similar styles, but very different as far as youth experience situations. McMahon's going to take a seat. See that one.
Yeah, Minnesota Green.
For this one?
Green Bay, I tell you, lived in Minnesota for 10 years when I played for the Lynx and worked for the Lynx and on some other projects. And this is a basketball town. Some people may think it's not, but it is a basketball town.
It really is.
They will show up today for their Golden Gophers.
Yeah, they had already sold over 10,000 tickets for Williams Arena, and they can hold about 14,600 and change.
It's such a historic building as well. Raised floor. They call it the barn. Love it.
Hadn't hosted since 2005. They had back-to-back years, 04, 05. Glad to be back.
Yeah, look at the rafters. There's some seating with limited view.
It's worth it.
It is worth it. Somebody's going to pay for those seats.
They missed with some turnovers the last several times down as Whitaker trying the reverse, but Hale will go to the line. Helping her out on the other side to keep it alive.
I expect to see Whitaker, Hale in the starting lineup potentially in the future.
I think
These
so.
two freshmen, obviously Lauren Whitaker, a redshirt freshman. She was an early enrollee and sat out for a year and a half before playing her freshman season. And Hale, a true freshman. There's some muscle inside with those two.
There certainly is. I like the combination. Lisa Fortier putting this team together, and a lot of change, a lot of new. They've had young leaders after graduating that leadership role. Players have had to elevate their games to become starters this year. This is that when Iwala gets clocked in the process. But the success that this program has had, they will be moving out of the WCC. They have been in the WCC for so many years, Andrea, and they were moving to the Pac-12. But Lisa Fortier had nothing but amazing things to say about what it's meant to be part of this conference.
And the conference has nothing but amazing things to say about Gonzaga's program, and wishing them the best as they move on next season. But they will be missed. 20 years they've been in the tournament, 16 different times.
Just remarkable. 20 regular season championships, 11 tournament championships. Winning it this year, finishing second overall. LMU, what a big run they've had in the WCC, winning the regular season. This is some of the numbers, making the Elite Eight. Lisa Fortier was an assistant coach for Kelly Graves, who is the all-time winningest coach, but she's only 4 wins away from passing him. She's sitting at 313. Just handed off the baton, and she took it and ran with it again.
And she is also tied with Kim Mulkey, as we see a turnover here by Gonzaga. Tied with Kim Mulkey, Lisa Fortier, for the fastest to 300 wins with 379 games. She was able to attain 300 wins. It's like Gino Honoriyama's right there.
That's
Took
incredible.
him 386.
That's
Slacker.
incredible.
Such a slacker.
That is incredible. Well, miscue with that pass. Coming up with it is Poe. Just under 7 minutes remaining. Shot clock to 4. Baseline bank, just missing for Jacobs.
Whitaker this time is like, I'm not passing the ball, just bring it up myself. Like that shot right there, especially when you have an offensive rebounder in Hale.
Yeah, Betancourt has range. She can hit it. Why not try before the D gets there, as Ole Miss trying to find Iwala and too much on it. They're going to call a foul on Gonzaga. It's going to be on Turner for the first. And the team's third.
The officials in this tournament from the early games I've seen are really paying attention to being held on those lob passes for the post players.
You like that as a post player?
I like to dish it out, so really that stuff didn't bother me a lot. But if somebody's holding me, yeah, I'll take the call.
Absolutely. I think they've done a nice job here in this one. Forsberg, Bill, Ransom, Molinar trio today. They've let them play. They've got the whistle ready when needed.
And this has been a terrific game also for Gonzaga, or for Ole Miss, as you see them getting a lot of different players into the game. And Gonzaga has continued to compete, as you see, the great shot with the block right here.
So Robo just checked in, getting into the block action.
Oh, she's certainly athletic enough to go up and block shots. But what I really liked about Ole Miss today is they've had balance with their scoring. They've had a lot of contributors. Their subs that have come off the bench have enhanced the game and have not detracted from it. And, you know, you get rest for a player like Cody McMahon in a 2 days and 3 games, 2 games in 3 days kind of play that you're in right now.
31 bench points for Ole Miss. Really helpful. Just Turner on the drive gets fouled, and she will go to the line. But you're right, it gives rest to players like Iwala and Murray, starting crew. Coach O going deep into the bench, but she typically does. I mean, you're going to see her with the style that they play. You pretty much have to.
Yeah, and she's gone deeper. We've talked, you know, and people have talked all along and how tough and battle-tested this Ole Miss team is because of their January and February schedule, and just having to play away from home so much, and having, I think at one point they had 10 games in 23 days because of the storm that went through Oxford, Mississippi, and shut down the town. And then this had a week of rest. And this is the freshest they've been for months.
Just incredible what they went through with the storm that shut everything down, forced them out on the road for a month of SEC play, and they were supposed to have 3 home games and had to either postpone them or they were going to have to cancel them. And they have used that really to kind of set themselves up in a good spot. I mean, it kind of felt like they were in the NCAA tournament from about January on.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And here's the amazing thing about this Ole Miss team is we did not hear a peep of complaining.
No.
We did not hear them feel sorry for themselves. They just kept working, but you know it took a toll on them. And then with Chinu out of the lineup, they lost a little bit in their rotation. They were able to gain some depth. But what an experience. I asked Coach Yo if she's been through anything like that. She's like, never been it.
And never really wants to, I'm sure. Although with a team with a lot of new players, that's one way that you can get to know one another when you're out on the road together. And this group really likes each other. She said, I love this team. So they have been so much fun. No drama, just a really great group.
And how rare is that when you take a team with 8 new players, mostly from different places, and you put them together? And it says so much about Coach Yo and her vision and her I think she coaches everybody equally.
Yes. Yep.
And I think the players respect that.
Yep, they love that about her. As Whitaker fighting hard against the length inside, and frustration and a foul there going to go against Whitaker. As Kyles was begging for it and got it.
Yeah, we've seen that frustration from Whitaker here today, especially in the second half. As somebody that's, you know, we mentioned she's mobile, versatile, but she loves to be a big bruiser on the interior, and I think she's accustomed to being able to have her way on the inside. That has not been the case today.
It's been a tough day. 3 of 17 shooting for her, 6 points. But you know what I've always loved about her game this entire year? I mean, she's always getting double teams, triple teams. She's not a complainer. She's one of those that just lets it go and kind of moves on to the next point.
That's what you call farm tough right there.
That's right.
Well, I grew up on a farm, so I can say that.
That's right, you did. I'm going to let you. An official review with 5:03 remaining. We'll take the timeout. We'll see you on the other side. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. So happy to have Chinu back into the rotation for Ole Miss.
And she is all over the floor. We know her because of her defense, her ability to get in passing lanes, get steals. But offensively today, she was absolutely outstanding. Don't think she meant to take that behind the back. She looked a little rusty early on, but love the fact that she came out and competed today. Good to have Chinu back, as you mentioned. Critical part, really, of the Ole Miss rotation.
So much. Big man who can be kind of serious, a little more serious at times, but she's enjoying herself. She's relaxing a little bit right now. And for the timeout, there was a foul call. They did not elevate it on Lauren Whitaker, but she did pick up the foul, and that'll be her 3rd. So we play on just under 5 minutes remaining. Ole Miss looking for win number 24 on the season and trying to make their way to the 2nd round. They did it last year, but this is a very different team. They made their way to the Sweet 16 a season ago. Entirely different group. And Coach O talked about, hey, I had to teach the dictate and disrupt defense to a lot of these players. They hadn't had the pleasure of being a part of it for very long.
Yeah, not just teach the technique, but teach the mindset that it takes. And it's so much fun to watch Coach Yo in her practices.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she is a defensive coach, but we saw her get on Thompson for not taking a 3 in practice, and she stopped practice, made everybody watch as Thompson ran, a horse, a suicide, up and down, ran.
Well, Thompson's an incredible shooter, and at times not letting her teammates know that, hey, I'm open, or are you asking for the ball? She said, you got to ask. You got to let them know, as you see her, the accolades of what she's done in her 8 seasons, but especially these last 5 in a row to the NCAA tournament.
It was interesting to hear Coach Yo talk earlier this year about how she used to be embarrassed to go to the SEC media days because of their record the first 2 seasons. It was abominable. It was so tough. And so when you see that turnaround, if you haven't followed women's basketball, that is how impressive Coach Yo is and what she's done for Ole Miss.
She's definitely just that positive energy. She's that kind of coach that you're like, okay, I will go out and try to play that defense that you want me to play kind of coach.
I feel like she's got a little extra pop in her step this year, too.
Yeah.
Like she's kind of guy. She likes this team so much.
She's been energized as that one goes for Gardner. 6-3 of the game for the Zags. They have not been easy to find with the length of the Rebels, and a 7-0 run for Gonzaga with 3.5 left.
I mentioned how young this Gonzaga team is. Gardner, just a sophomore. A lot of these players will be back for another season should they choose to stay.
And I certainly hope Lisa Fortier can keep this core group together. As that one just misses on the interior for Kyles.
Betancourt right now is ball in her hands. Number 8 is a senior. Has no more eligibility. So
there's the extra pass.
Yep.
That's so crucial.
Yep.
Back-to-back threes for Taryn Gardner.
And that's what we have seen from Gonzaga all year long, when they have the ability to make the pass, get the ball around the horn, switch sides, cut in the defense. They can shoot the basketball.
Just hadn't been able to find it earlier with that starting group out there.
Yeah. That's exactly what Ole Miss takes away from you. So
sure
nothing is easy.
15 on the shot clock. Stays with Ole Miss. A great experience for the young Gonzaga team. Officials getting together. And Coach Yo asking what's going on.
And looks like I saw a sign for an intentional.
See if we can get some clarification for you. Is Fortier asking about it as well?
Saw the official put his arms, the universal sign for an intentional foul.
So they put Turner to the free throw line and gets the free throws. On the intentional foul, Turner with 22 points. 4th time this season. Intentional foul called, but gives Gonzaga another chance to try to cut into the deficit. That one from Whitaker won't go. Long rebound, another chance. Saw her teammate behind her and knocked out a play. It'll stay with Gonzaga.
Let's take a look back at what that intentional foul might have been. You look in the middle here, Whitaker in the middle of it all, of course.
Just a push from Desiree Kyles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know me, though.
Yep, you know. Oh, high archer swish. Turner with her 5th three. 8th of the game for Gonzaga. Now takeaway by Gardner.
Turner is just so automatic because she's composed. She's ready to shoot. Shoots the same way. You can tell she is a fan favorite. Taco. It's another taco, maybe. You got to win that taco back.
That's right. A 15-0 run for Gonzaga. Still not giving up on this one. Betancourt, the senior. This could be the finale for her. Lichty, the grad student. They get another bucket. The run continues.
That is something we're going to see for another 3 years from that young lady, Whitaker. Again, freshman of the year and player of the year in the West Coast Conference. So hard to do.
It certainly is. She has 8 points. And then losing it was Lattimore. Zag's going to push. Turner pulls it up. This is that one. Oh, wow. Tough fall.
You know, the crowd has come in for our next game, which is Minnesota and Green Bay, and we're expecting 10,000. It's almost like the crowd is behind Allie Turner every time she takes a shot now.
Tough rebound as flying in was Tiana Thompson. And they call a foul on Gardner, her second. The minute 21 remaining. But a nice run, and maybe what the future will see for this Gonzaga team.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, moving to the Pac-12 next season, and if Gonzaga can keep this team together, they'll have a little bit of NCAA experience and be a year older, but they have shown some signs. Allie Turner has been outstanding from beyond the arc, and we have seen Lauren Whitaker with her skills at 6'3" be able to do everything on the floor. It's just they have run into a buzzsaw today, a team that is motivated, a team with a chip on their shoulder in Ole Miss, and a talented team that has defined, they know what they want to do defensively.
Yes. And, you know, Whitaker's the kind of player that's been on every scout of every team this year. How are you going to guard her? What are you going to take away? Can you take it away? Or do you let her get hers and try to shut others down? Today, they've really slowed her down and still has yet to hit double digits. Free throw good for Thompson. Her first points of the game, but 4 boards, 3 assists for Tiana Thompson. Gets them both.
Ole Miss still picking up full court. That is that DNA defensively.
Gardner, the sophomore out of Spokane. And gets the bench up, loving the effort. A little push here at the end. It's been a successful season, no doubt. Gets the fans on their feet. Smiles on the faces, why not? As we take a look at the bracket, it's Regional 2 for Sacramento. And the winner here will move on to the second round. They'll await our next game, 4-seed Minnesota, 13-seed Green Bay, and then you see UCLA, California Baptist, as well as the 8-9 seeds, Oklahoma State, Princeton. Those are going to be fun matchups.
Well, and how tough is this region? So Regional 2
really
of
tough.
Sacramento is the toughest region, and if you look at the top 4 seeds in this region, they are in the top 10 of the net, all 4 of them. So a tough road to go, and Ole Miss knows they have to go through Minnesota tomorrow, who's the number 4 seed. If they win, not tomorrow, but Sunday, they would have to go through Minnesota if they win, and eventually through UCLA, which I would guess they're chomping at the bit to do that.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Just swarming defense here by Gonzaga, trying to get the crowd on their side. Use this momentum.
Giving up on it, yeah, just under a minute remaining. Backcourt with the layup, good, the senior.
Minnesota always loves the underdog.
Oh, Whitaker wanted a continuation, I think. Trying to get
the ball was called out of bounds. It's just gotten so loud in here. The ball is out of bounds. So there was, the ball was out of bounds, dead ball, but Whitaker thought she might have a chance to capture it and just get an opportunity.
Gets the inbound. And misses the jumper as Betancourt tries for the steal. She's going to get whistled for the personal. And that's the 5th on Gonzaga.
I think I see a couple of Ole Miss people over there even cheering for Gonzaga at this point with their effort.
So to the line.
I think this is one of those games as a coach with your Ole Miss, Coach Yo. You just want the time to go off the clock.
The clock cannot move quickly enough. It's a 22-2 run for Gonzaga. They've cut it to a 10-point deficit. There's a free throw good for Lattimore. And Coach Yo's sticking with the group that she's brought in off the bench. Lattimore, the grad transfer from Virginia, from Toronto, Canada. She's done a nice job coming in today.
She's been one of the X factors throughout the season for me, for Ole Miss. Just how she has stepped up her game. Lattimore at 6'4".
And stretching defense is also there, 2 of 4 behind the 3-point arc.
Yep.
And in the passing lane, and the takeaway. And the layup for Jacobs. D to offense again.
Jacobs had a moment where she didn't know if she should push or pull it back.
Nice takeaway there. And a second differential shot clock, game clock. Reach in, not what you want for Ole Miss right now.
It's so hard to turn it off. When you're playing tough defense, it's not like it just is a switch that you can turn off unless you sit back in a zone or something. So understandable. And we have seen so many impressive sophomores out here today. Thompson, one of them for Ole Miss with the foul. Allie Turner, who's been spectacular down the stretch here in the fourth quarter, but throughout the game. Gardner. Chinu as well, who's on the bench for Ole Miss.
Incredible. Quick pressure. Happy to get it across was Thompson. She gets fouled. A lot of positives for Coach O to take from this one.
And the score is just a 10-point game right now, but there was a huge deficit throughout the game due to Ole Miss's constant pressure defensively and their ability to just play physically and get into the paint, put their bodies on the floor, bodies on the line.
Big fourth quarter for the Zags. Free throw's good for Thompson with 16 seconds remaining. More chance for the Zags. Whitaker off the iron. And that should just about do it. And Whitaker chooses to foul. DeShields hanging on to it. She'll go to the line.
This game is about what we expected. The fact that we've seen how Gonzaga can shoot the ball when there's cracks in the defense. Here in the fourth quarter, they've shown that ability. But Ole Miss overall is just so tough. And there's 16 offensive rebounds today. They have 14 steals on the game.
Well, we thought it would be important, obviously, to get shots early for Gonzaga. And I thought that Allie Turner got hers going, but Whitaker or others weren't going along with her. The defense was just stifling everybody else. It was just a little too much to catch up to.
Did I mention 9 blocks as well? It has to be a record.
Incredible. And that will do it. Ole Miss moving out of the first round. They're going to move on to the second round. They'll await the winner of our next one, Minnesota. And Green Bay should take a look at the bracket. They will await the next one. That'll be on ESPNU. Our final 81-66 Ole Miss over Gonzaga. For Andrea Lloyd, I'm Krista Blanc. So long. Next tip-off here, 30 minutes between Minnesota and Green Bay on ESPNU. We can see you now.